disappointing particularly for the players and the team, what they've achieved but overall, if you forget the fact that it's bitterly disappointing, and I've been there, the legacy they're leaving, getting to winning the Euros, then the final of a World Cup and back to back, is nothing short of fantastic. And that group of players, and you've got to mention the boss, Sarina. We had a great boss in our time in Alf Ramsey, fundamentally instrumental in getting a group of players together. And she's done exactly the same, playing as a team. You can see it in everything how they play, how they congratulate each other. The subs come off the bench and congratulate them. The team spirit, which is such an important aspect of being successful, illustrates what a fantastic boss she is.
And I was saying earlier, this doesn't feel like the end, it kind of feels like the beginning. They've won the Euros, they've got to a World Cup final, and this feels now like a squad that is going to compete at major tournaments in years to come.
I think in many respects you call this almost like a new beginning of what they've achieved and where they can go from here. But over on the long term, all these young girls now watching all this and getting into the game, and it wasn't that long ago where people would tell me stories about when they were girls at school being barred from playing football. The gigantic strides they've made is nothing short of sensational. And you mentioned which is a very important part of the project, the initial funding over the last 10 years, the National Lottery, 50-odd million, 200 new clubs, as you said, starting. But this is already happening. From this launch pad now, we're going to see a gigantic leap forward.
I ask you to think back to when you were a young boy,
I can't remember that far.
Late 40s, early 50s, post-war Britain, a very different time. But, girls who would fall in love with football back then, there just wouldn't have been any avenues at all for them, would there?
None. As I said, barred from playing. So none whatsoever. So the progression has been much quicker than the men's game, where we are today. And of course, I think in many respects, from what they've just done, it's a start of another increase on what we've seen so far, getting to where they are today. It's just another new start in many respects.
Yeah, and it is inspirational. I've got two girls, they're 9 and 7. They watched every match of the World Cup with me, and I think for young boys as well, you can't fail but be inspired by the Lionesses.
Yes, I think the inspiration they get for young kids, even members of my family. I've got a granddaughter who's 34, and she's not a young kid anymore, but because I'm older. But she watched it all, and we were talking about it every day, and she was thrilled to bits with it. And she's a lady looking at women's football. And of course, I think importantly, you're going to have these young kids of 5, 6, and 7 years of age, young girls, who are seeing this and now starting. And we're already seeing an increase in people who wanted to become part of a football club.
I've been watching some of the girls behind. They're pretty handy.
Very good. They're very good. And you say the quality starts here. You must start playing young to become good at the sport. And we've seen that now with the current squad. I mean, the quality of their game and their control, their passing, their shooting. We've seen some great goals. Chloe Kelly's penalty. I mean, goodness me.
Rocket.
It's apparently it's the fastest shot at goal, more than the Premier League. Yeah. That to me is arguably one of the most outstanding at a time when taking penalties, and I've been there and I've missed them. Like, listen, I've been around a bit and I've missed them. I missed a big one that's cost us getting into a final of the Carabao Cup. But thanks for bringing these disappointing moments. That penalty was just laughably brilliant.
Yeah.